basic concept of a wing in sprint car racing, be it the front wing here or the large top wing up above, is to create downforce by slowing the air over the top of the wing and increasing the airspeed underneath. So let's take a close look at the front wing here and then we'll explain what it does. So the way that the front wing tries to slow the air down over the top, it's got a dish here to slow the wing down, and this is called either a gurney flap or a wicker bill that is meant to slow the air down underneath. Got the nice aerofoil shape, speed the air up, create the downforce. Exactly the same theory up there on the top wing. Now these front wings sit well forward on the car, they sit in front of the front axle. Now we've spoken about it plenty of times, 850 horsepower, 650 kilo car on a racetrack, particularly when it's quite tacky, puts out more grip than if you're racing on asphalt. So you've got to try and do what you can to keep the front wheels on the ground. So the front wing does exactly that. It's there to provide downforce at the front, keep the front end on the ground, allow the car to go forward, but also allow the driver to steer the car. One of the very unique aspects of sprint car racing is the size of the top wing that's right behind me here, 25 square feet of aerofoil that does nothing more than stick this race car down on the ground as hard as it can go. Robbie Farr is one of the best there is in wing sprint car racing in Australia, and we're very fortunate to be able to have a chat to him about it because Robbie's also been extremely successful in racing the wingless midgets. So Robbie, I mean, the wings on these cars, obviously it makes a fundamental difference in terms of the speed and corner speed. Can you just maybe give our viewers a bit of an explanation in the differences and what this car is like with a wing and what you think it'd be like without one?
Yeah, well, there's not a huge difference between a speed car and a sprint car, predominantly the size and the horsepower, but the basics of the cars are the same. The biggest difference is the wing, and what that does with the handling of the car is it makes a big difference. Predominantly with a speed car, you need to go in the corner, float it in. Without the downforce, you really need to wash off speed, you know, with being sideways. And that with the sprint cars there, you find these wings are so efficient that you really run the car in there straight. The car wings down on the left, it just pulls down the left side. And you adjust your setup to allow for that, obviously. And just, yeah, obviously downforce equals speed, and sprint cars, that's why they are so fast.
Well, Robbie, you talked about the difference in a midget and a sprint car with and without the wing. Now, we know here tonight, qualifying, we're going to see some 12-second laps, I'm guessing, if not a little better. If we took the wing off this race car and you're able to adjust on it, I mean, how much is that going to make? If you take your identical race car, your 850 horsepower, what do you think it'd be? I'd
imagine it'd be somewhere around a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap. You know, when you're only doing 12 or 11, you know, sub 11-second laps, that's a fair bit. It would take a minimum 10% away from the car's performance as far as speed goes. So it is a big difference. And then you've got the adjustment in the cockpit on the race car, which during a race, as the track deteriorates and dries out and the track slows down and you're looking for more rear-wheel drive, you can adjust on the hydraulics of the car to move the wing back, which will then plant the car harder on the rear wheels as the race goes on. So it is something that makes a big difference to the car, but it can also make a big difference to the car during the race.